Yeah, there's an issue with your LinkedIn.
My LinkedIn?
I have to remove it. It's not letting me go live.
It now gives me the option to stream it to my audience.
Now
Should I
all of
forget it?
we're live. We're live. Okay,
Okay.
sorry everybody. I'm not sure where we're live because we've got some issues going on here. We might only be on YouTube. I'm seeing errors. Yeah, we're not streaming to Facebook or LinkedIn. Let me see. We might be able to get LinkedIn to work. No, LinkedIn is not working. We're only on YouTube. Sorry. But we're live and we're here with Connie Inuki. Did I say that correct?
Inukai.
Inukai. And I would like to introduce you to her, and we will, you know, we will keep going forward even though we're having technical difficulties. So Connie asks, what if retirement is the perfect time to live out the dreams you may have put on hold for some day? After 40 years as an educator, Connie followed her inspiration, and today she's a serial grandmapreneur, inventor, author, and TEDx speaker. She became an award-winning inventor at the age of 68 with her tip and split calculating device, and at 70, she created Your Selfie. Um, if if you're considering retirement, why not rethink it and cultivate an active and social life through entrepreneurship, because passion has no expiration date. Welcome, Connie. I'm so glad that you're here. And I can't wait to dive in and learn more about you and share you with the audience and figure out what makes you tick.
Well, thanks. I'm so happy to be here. I've been wanting to be on here so long and to meet your audience.
That's great. And so we are going to have a little bit of a hiccup because of the technical snafu, but I will be sharing this video on all of the platforms. And if we don't get a lot of people live today, we'll get people on the replay. So if you're on the replay or if you found your way here, ask questions, tag us, we'll come back and we will we'll keep this conversation going. So let's start with what happened when you turned 50, 60, 70. Pick a decade.
That's really interesting, Donna, because when I turned 50, I hated it. I thought, oh my God, I'm getting old. When I turned 60, I got even worse. Oh my goodness, I'm getting so old. But when I turned 70, I felt good. My whole attitude changed, and I promote that I'm over 70 because I've gotten this far and I feel like a new breath of life in me.
That's
So
amazing.
the main thing is I quit my full-time job when I was 68. And now I feel like there's no stopping me. Actually, I'm 76 right now. And I feel that there's no stopping me because I'm retired, but not really. I work harder than I've ever worked in my life. And actually, I've realized that there are no rules for retirement today. No rules. We get to make our own rules, our own retirement plan. So I'm really excited about that, and mine is changing every day. Actually, I'm embarking on a new idea very soon. So keep tuned.
Okay. Okay. Is it another invention?
No,
Okay.
well, actually, I have an invention also. I have another invention, and when I was on LinkedIn this morning checking it out, I just connected with Howard Schultz, the head of Starbucks, because I have an idea for Starbucks
Mm.
that I think will be successful. So I'm hoping he accepts my connection. But that's just one of the many things I'm doing. Because when
I
you're an
love them.
inventor and you have curiosity, you can't stop.
You
You
can.
know, everything I do inspires me to do something new.
So now that leads me to a question. Um, like, were you always creative and curious, or did that kind of pop in your
Well, I
retirement?
think that I was always creative and curious, but I couldn't act on it.
Mhm.
because I was a divorced mother of three, raising three kids. I had no time. And I also had a full-time job teaching college seniors how to write better. And when you're in college, you pull all-nighters to do your homework. Well, I had to pull all-nighters to grade it. So I had no time. So when I retired, all my curiosity and my ambition was free. So
Mhm.
now I can do, and my kids are grown, and so I can do whatever I want to do.
I love it. I love it. This is a recurring theme. You are our 59th interview, and it's a recurring theme that I hear week by week by week. All of these incredible women have spent years toiling away at the career, at the raising of a family, at the different shifting landscapes of life. And when there is the time for them to kind of think about what they actually want, what makes
Yes,
them happy. I
now
mean,
we have the time.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And one of the things that has also been a common theme is that, this is often called a reinvention, but what I'm learning through these conversations, it's more of a remembering of who you really are. Because those parts that you lost or gave away along the way are now free to come back to you.
Exactly.
And it's just an amazing time of life.
That's a nice way to put it.
Yeah.
So many people who dread retirement should listen to that.
Yes, 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 yes. So let's talk a little bit about how you turn your idea into an invention.
Okay, so I got the idea when I was teaching, and I taught technical writing to engineers. And what I did in my course, they had to write papers. So the first assignment I gave them was to find a dream job, one that they're not qualified for, but they might be qualified for in 10, 20 years. And I said, go through the internet, find that job you want. So they all found great jobs, okay, that they wanted to work in. So the first assignment I gave them is, okay, you're working for that company, write an instruction manual for that company, because that's part of technical writing.
Mhm.
So they did it, and I learned from them. So in the back of my mind, had an invention going on. So I wrote my own instruction manual. Then another assignment, I said, write a brochure for that company to promote it. So I wrote my brochure. And finally, after 6 assignments, I said, I can't do this anymore. I have to start working on my own invention.
So
And so
you
that's what
built
I
your
did.
plan.
So I retired, and I was ready to go, and I already had all my assets ready to
Mhm.
go.
That's amazing. So now let's talk about your inventions. You have 2. You have the tip and split. What is
Uh-huh.
that?
Tip and split. Well, okay, so I like to do things to help people my age. And when we get older, we have a little difficulty going to restaurants and reading the small print on the menu, especially when the restaurant is dark.
Mhm.
So this is my invention. It's called Tip and Split. It's got a magnifier so you can see the menu and the bill. It's got a light on the back so you can read it. You don't have to look for a candle. And you can also figure out a tip and split the bill in 3 seconds. So I
Amazing.
knew nothing about inventing, but I'm curious, and I'm not afraid to try new things.
I love it. I love it. And then what, the write your selfie, tell us about that.
Okay, so I got the idea during COVID. I actually got the idea when Kobe Bryant died. And I thought about it. It's so sad because he died with his daughter in a helicopter. And, but his whole family, everybody is going to know all about him. But what about people like me, ordinary people? Who's going to know about us?
Mhm.
So they're not going to know nobody's going to know about me unless I tell them. So I wrote a book all about my life. And I want my grandkids to know the important things in my life. Okay, so after I'm gone, they will know all about me. So then I decided, because I'm a retired writing teacher, I'm helping other people write their life story. And I call it Write Your Selfie because young people always take selfies. And
Hmm.
older people like me don't do selfies, but selfies are pictures. So my whole book is based on pictures. Can I show you one of my
Yes,
favorites?
yes, absolutely.
Okay, this is one of my, the whole book is based on pictures, but it's the story about the picture that's
Hmm.
important. So this is a picture of my grandparents on my mother's side. And the caption under it says, Grandma Ella and Grandpa Arthur moved to the United States from Poland. They missed the ship over to the United States in 1912 because Ella was pregnant and had morning sickness. The ship they missed was the Titanic.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so my mother never told me that story, and nobody in my family would know about it if I didn't tell them. So now my kids, my grandkids who love the movie Titanic, have a little bit more depth, a history about
Mhm.
it. So my whole book is based on pictures.
Oh, I love it. And you've created like a process for helping
Yeah,
people pull all
I
that
help people
together.
write it, and I help them write their captions. This is a very interesting picture for me. It's a picture of our boat. We grew up in Cleveland on Lake Erie, and we had a boat, and we called it Dr. Skeckle. And that's named after my parents, David, Rebecca, then Sharon, Connie, Arthur, Chucky, Louie, Skeckle. And so when they had one more child, we all took a vote and decided we have to call him Eddie. So we could keep, just add an E, Scacle, so we could keep the name of our boat. So these are stories that I want my grandkids to know about.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And I know that you were on QVC, which is the invention that made it to QVC.
Oh, it was tip and split.
Oh, okay.
And
All
then actually, I try to use all my skills because I do have this time now.
right.
So I wrote a book to help other people with publicity, and it's called How I Got My Product on QVC, The Today Show, The View, and More in My Retirement.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing.
so I love doing that. I love writing books. I'm glad I'm not a writing teacher nowadays because of ChatGPT. I don't know how I would grade assignments with ChatGPT around, but I'm having the time of my life.
That's amazing. So now, how did you come across Grandmapreneur and trademark that at age 70?
Well, I wanted to give my business a name, and there are a lot of mompreneurs. I'm a grandmapreneur, and grandma is the most important thing to me because I do have 3 grandchildren living with me right now. Because I'm an inventor, I know the trademarking process. So I did it myself.
Hmm.
And actually, I was a speaker at the patent office, which is in DC. At the beginning of this year, I was a speaker at the patent office, and I couldn't understand how they found me. And they found me, and they said, Connie, people know about you in the inventing world. And so I spoke about getting patents and trademarks on your own.
Yeah, at 70.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Amazing. So now you're like your own lawyer, you're your own inventor, you write content, you're your own publicist. I love it. I love every bit of it. And
Thank you.
you're in your 70s and there's no stopping you. Amazing.
Thank
Just
you.
amazing. Um, so you also did a TED Talk
Yes.
about pursuing your passion in retirement.
Yes.
And you have 6 different tenets of like what that means. So could
Uh-huh.
we kind of
Well,
chat
I
through
gave
those?
I gave the TEDx talk mainly because I wanted to share my ideas. TEDx is about ideas worth sharing, and I had seen a lot of talks about retirement, but none that look at it the way I do,
Mhm.
like pursue your passion in retirement. And I actually based it on, I wrote an article for Entrepreneur magazine called 6 Reasons to Pursue Entrepreneurship in Your Retirement. And those reasons are, if I can remember them, The first one is it keeps you physically active. Okay. Like, look at what I'm doing. This is physical activity.
Mm-hmm.
It keeps you mentally alert.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just watching Netflix, look, I'm talking to you,
Mm-hmm.
the great Donna Cravatta.
Oh,
You know, I'm talking to you about things. So if you're just sitting at home, it doesn't keep you mentally alert. It gives you gives you a social outlet. This to me is a social outlet. I'm on Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn. None of my friends are on that. My friends my age.
and they're not like, doing their own legal work to create patents and trademarking,
Right. So, you
entire
know,
industries.
so when you're retired, there are 6 reasons. The main reason is it keeps you young.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I was talking to somebody outside of this online world a couple of weeks ago, and they were like, "Well, you got to be getting ready to retire. I just turned 60." And I'm like, "To what?" Like, I don't even like the world I'm in, we don't talk about this.
So yeah, happy birthday.
Thank you.
And some people don't understand it, but I actually um, heard something just yesterday and I wanted to share it. It says, I trust the next chapter because I know the author.
Oh, I love that.
Isn't that great? I
I'm
wrote
writing
it
that down.
down. I wrote that down. So so we don't have to worry about it. Some people have no idea what to do when they retire and they're bored and depressed. And
Well, the
we're
thing
not.
I think what happens is like and I'm not a person that believes in demographics. I believe in finding the people that care about the same things that you care about, that have shared values, that, have shared dreams, and but there's something that happens when you reach a stage in life, and whether it be 50 or 60 or 70, but that time where, the space opens up, where the responsibilities kind of shift. And I think people go one of two ways. They either like, okay, like this is over and there's nothing else, or oh my God, what an opportunity. And I don't think there's much in the middle of that.
Exactly, exactly. So I gave my TEDx talk and I was really surprised because I have resonated with so many people and they're all telling me, "My God, I got to show this to my mom," or "My gosh, how could you do this when you're 70?" You know? And I'm just so thrilled
Yeah.
that I could do that. And by the way, I wrote another book. And my newest book is called Retirement. Dream big, take action, make money. And I give pointers on how to start a business in your retirement.
So what's the number one thing that you would advise people to do?
Well, I have to remember this.
Thank
um,
God there's a table of contents, right?
yes, 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 yes. Okay. Well, I just actually the number one thing I would recommend now is to contact SCORE,
Mhm.
SCORE. Have you heard of them?
Yeah, I used to do presentations for them years ago.
Uh-huh. Well, they are incredible. It's free. You could pay people to be your mentor, but a SCORE mentor is doing it not for money, but because he loves it.
Yeah.
So I think that's always a better way to go.
Mhm.
Everyone will take your money, but my SCORE mentor has helped me enormously.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I'm older than him.
I
And
had
one day I will become a SCORE mentor.
I had one early on in my business, and he wasn't very helpful, but it was because it was the very early days of this online world, and he just didn't know how to help me.
Right.
But then a couple of years after that, I started doing trainings on social media and um, SEO and PR. I was teaching people how to be their own publicists. So that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I did it with SCORE, and I also did it with the state university system. And I did some work with Etsy also,
Mm.
which was fun.
Well, that's great. Well,
Yeah.
maybe I have to talk to you and get some more ideas.
I'm here. I'm
Mhm.
here. So, let's kind of tap into that book a little bit. You talk about dreaming big. So, how do you stay inspired? How do you keep
Oh,
yourself dreaming?
so for my book, the first thing I did was I interviewed 10 people who started a business after they retired.
Hmm.
So one of my people was a woman who was worked for the sheriff's department in Virginia, and she loved her job. She actually met. Do you remember the case about the snipers in D.C. where they were killing people like in
Oh
front of
yeah, in the
Walmart?
gas stations, wasn't it gas
Yeah,
stations?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, one of the older one was executed, and the younger one was in prison in Virginia. And he used to. She always loved horses, and the younger sniper, he was only about 18. He drew her a picture of her on a horse, okay, and gave it to her. And right after that, she retired and she started her own horse farm.
Oh wow.
So she had a very interesting life before she retired, but now she's doing what she loves.
Yeah.
And how did she start the business? Well, she takes on people who have horses and want them boarded.
Hmm.
So it basically pays for itself. Um,
Amazing.
I have another woman who uh, was a lawyer, and he actually had to retire from being a lawyer because he got Parkinson's disease. But it didn't stop him because now he's a musician. He always loved playing the guitar, and now he set up a course on um, playing the guitar for people with Parkinson's.
Oh, because it uses different parts of your brain.
Yeah, and so he's so fascinated with this. He had to stop being a lawyer because he couldn't sit down long enough to do that. But he's now helping other people correct their Parkinson's by
Hmm.
playing the guitar. So I start my book with 10 stories of different people who retired, sometimes because they wanted to, and sometimes because they had to. And then I go into the actions, what actions you can take. And so I list a number of actions that they can take. And I first start with SCORE. Go to
Hmm.
SCORE, create a business plan. And my SCORE mentor told me to create a business plan. And I didn't believe it was really so necessary, but he
Hmm.
said, create one. And actually, I created 3 of them recently because I went back to him. So I have a business plan for tip and split. I have a business plan for Write Your Selfie, and I have a business plan for speaking because I gave my TEDx talk because I want to be a speaker to inspire other people my age and younger. I don't want to say older because there aren't many older,
Hey,
but
we've got women in this community up to age 85 that are still doing it, so you've got a
really,
while to go.
okay,
Yeah.
good. So I want to
Don't
be a
limit yourself.
speaker to those. I want to be a speaker to those communities. So he said, write a business plan. And
Yeah.
it really helped me.
Yeah. Well, it pulls together all of the parts, so you don't
And
forget
tells you what you
anything.
have to do
Yeah, yeah.
next.
Even if it's a simple, it doesn't need to be a big complex thing. It just,
Right, right.
you need to gather everything in one place. But I just want to go back to the stories that you shared in the book because what I really love about these stories is that none of them could have planned for this. It
Right,
and
right.
people spend so much time planning and, like, limiting their opportunities, limiting, their possibilities because they're planning for one specific thing, and so often that doesn't happen, or it takes a different turn, and they'll stop because it didn't happen, and they'll feel like, oh, this isn't supposed to be, and it will like just kind of cut them off. But this whole other thing is happening that you couldn't have possibly planned for,
If you're
that
open to it.
if you're open to it. Exactly. Exactly. It's just such a beautiful representation of, you know, there's always something working in the background for you.
Right, right. Well, I encourage people to find their passion. So maybe it's in crafts.
Yeah.
That's fine. For me, I started with writing. And I got so excited about it. My first thing I started inventing because I came up with my idea while I was still a teacher,
Hmm.
and I act on everything. I think that's one thing that makes the planning easier. If you have determination and discipline and commitment, all of those working together means that you will definitely find your happiness in retirement, or even if you're 30 years old, 40
Hmm.
years old.
Yeah. It's
But
a very good habit to get into when you're 30.
I think that it's a little bit more profound when you're older, because we realize we don't have time to waste.
Yeah. Yeah. We really don't. And it's everything means so much more.
Exactly.
And,
Yeah.
a priority
Everything
list
I'm
is a lot
doing,
easier to create.
everything I'm doing is so exciting for me, especially my new book and Write Your Selfie, because everybody wants to write their life story when you get to be in your 70s. Um, but they just don't know how to do it. So I
Yeah.
did it myself so I could
Yeah.
teach them easy ways to do it, or maybe for their children to give them a gift, because I meet so many people who tell me, my aunt just died. I wish I had done this for her so I would know more about her. So I'm trying to take away those why nots or what
Yeah.
ifs, and actually do them.
And you're showing, you're exampling that this can be done.
That's a good verb.
I made
I'm
it
exampling.
up.
I like that word. I might use it. Okay.
You go ahead and use it. You could even trademark it.
Well, you got the idea. Um,
So we're coming up at the end of the interview, and one of the things that I like to do is I like to ask the guests to leave everybody with a wisdom bomb. So something that you want people to know, or something actionable that they can start to do right away.
well, let me just tell you, I have this, I'm into like inspirational quotes, and I have this one from Erin, I forgot her last name, but it says, Erin Hansen, it says, what if I fail? Oh, but darling, what if you fly?
Mm,
Have you heard that?
yes.
I love it, because I guess my quote of wisdom would be for anybody to just do something towards your dream, and then you will fulfill it.
Or something, you'll fulfill something, because you don't
Yes.
know. The thing that you're dreaming about may not be the thing that's for you.
Right, right.
Be
I don't
open.
think I had any dreams of being an inventor.
And you definitely didn't. You were 40 years in academia.
Right,
They don't really promote dreaming.
right, 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 right. So it's such a pleasure to talk to you. And if anybody wants to become an inventor or a writer or anything, they can contact me,
Yeah, please.
grandmapreneur.com.
Yes. connect with Connie. She is at grandmapreneur.com. She's also featured on our Real 50 Over 50 website. Share this interview with somebody who needs to hear it. Share it with your parents, your grandparents, your friends, your colleagues. But we don't need to stay stuck. We don't need to
Exactly.
consider our life over when we retire or when we're done doing what we think we were intended to do. There's a whole world out there. And, I know this as fact because I live it and I have now interviewed 59 people that live it.
And nobody says what we have to do when we retire.
Mhm.
As you said it, we are reinventing ourselves.
Yeah. And I worked in law firms for 25 years. And, you know, I didn't think there was any other way, but I was a single parent and I knew that I needed to be home for my son. And I winged it. I left a really secure job and started a virtual assistance business in 2006 when nobody knew what a virtual assistant was. But I didn't feel like I had a choice. And one thing led to another and here we are 18 years later.
It's great. Well, we
It is
can't
great.
all be pioneers like you are.
No, no,
You
we
know,
can't.
you
But there are different variations of this
right,
too.
exactly.
You
We
can
can be pioneers in our own life.
exactly, exactly, within our own comfort zone and, whatever it is that we wanna do, but just I think the key to it all is being curious and being open.
Exactly. You put it perfectly.
Yeah.
Well, it's such a pleasure to talk with you and your audience.
You
And
too.
I love what you're doing.
Thank you, and I'm so happy that you've joined us, and, I'm sorry for the technical difficulties, but I'll share this out in all different ways, and, we'll get you some visibility.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, and come back tomorrow, people. We have a wisdom panel, and every Wednesday at noon Eastern Time, we're here interviewing another incredible woman that's doing things differently. So have a great Wednesday, everyone, and we will see you.
Thank you.